preventable deaths if we didn't spend so much money on defense. There are things that must evoke our anger, showing that we care. It is what we do with that anger. If we direct the energy, we can use it positively, we can use it in a destructive way.
I think we all have a propensity for incredible violence and incredible love all at the same time. It's one of the human conditions that puzzles me greatly. I've often thought that it would be an interesting experiment to find the violence gene in the human genome and take it out, see what happens. This killing each other, especially in the name of God, is completely unholy to me. I don't understand the mind that says, my God is better than your God, and I'm going to kill you to prove it.
One of the biggest profits is war. And if you're in the financing business or in the bullet business, you can start wars, finance both sides, and sell bullets to both sides. That's been going on a long time.
If it weren't for oil and the money that's controlled in the Middle East, we wouldn't be fighting the war that we're fighting today. To see the billions of dollars that are going into the war that could eliminate poverty, provide education with just a fraction of what we're spending on the war.
You don't have to be rich and you don't have to be an army. If you find yourself in a situation that needs to be changed, if you're willing to offer your life for it, you might actually get something done.
You have to be taught to hate. Look how the Nazis taught the Nazi youth movement. That could have been the way we can learn, that we could have taught the love movement.
You can't negotiate peace. Peace is an inside job. It exists somewhere inside, That's the idea of peace spreading, is each individual finds their own peace.
Imagine yourself as an oasis of peace, and imagine these ripples that move away from that center of peace and touch others. We have learned over the many, many years, generosity, compassion, gentleness, caring are so much, much more powerful than their counterparts.
You have to have freedom. An artist has to have that. But it's been, I know, tough for my wife because I need utter freedom in what I paint. When I did that series of Helga, she knew nothing about it. They all said that she knew about it. She never knew a thing about it because I knew that she would be upset that I got this lady to take her clothes off, pose in every position I wanted, and utter freedom. I think marriage is a terrific thing, and I think there's certain ethical things you have to do. But if it starts to control you too much, watch out.
I'm awfully bad at talking about love because there's so many different sorts of love. I think an independence within each person is almost essential. I'm not a one for a husband and wife doing everything together. And my husband wasn't interested in anything I was interested in. He liked all his men friends and playing golf and doing things with his father. And it meant that I could go off and do my own thing. And perhaps that's more important than that awful overworked word of love.
I've been married for 40 years. It's not one marriage. By then you've had 4 or 5 totally different marriages. And you hope that you evolve in similar ways, in compatible ways, and that you now have a new reason to be with somebody, but it's going to be different from the previous reasons to be with them.
Musically, of course, marriage is melody and rhythm. But otherwise, I think it's best when you marry at the age of 69, half your age. No, seriously, I think love is the most important thing.
You've got to
Keep time for your family. My relation with my wife is the most important thing in my life. And fortunately, we love one another, so it's not been difficult.
I think it's a combination of many things. Of course, compatibility. By that I mean sharing, not only just interests. I'm not talking about whether you like going skiing or playing golf or going to the movies. That's very nice, yes. But your political opinions.
My wife had very strong principles. Therefore, if she saw me deviating, she would immediately challenge me. And I wasn't let to get away with anything. If a compromise was necessary in order to achieve another's objective, all right, but I wasn't allowed to drift by her.
People sometimes think that I am radical in my political stance. I'm nowhere near as radical as my wife. I mean, she can get very, very, very hot under the collar about injustices. You share most of the most important things of your life. You share the same ideals.
The thing that was good for us is that we met very young and we've been together. And so we grow together in our interest, in what we like, in what we don't like. Naturally, you have your own opinion, you know, and your own opinion many times are very good because they're good because you sort of, you know, balance the dreams of Massimo that is always flying high and what is reality, you know. I sometimes think they have to take it down a bit.
Marriage, I've no idea what makes it work. Everything's against it. Everything on its side is against it. And every one is different from the other one. What makes my marriage work is that she makes it work. And I get the good attendance medal. I just show up. I don't have affairs. I like the idea of having sex with strangers, but I don't do it. And I'm very boring sexually, you know. I'm not adventurous sexually. I think that would have killed my marriage if I was, because I'd have to have thought about it. I'd have to come up with ideas. You know, I'm not very good on that front, you know. I treat it pretty much as the last household chore of the day because I want so little from it. So, and I get it. She will kill me.
Don't take the person for granted. Don't ever think that they're going to come back to you just because you happen to be married. Always have to make the effort, and hopefully not make the effort recognizably.
Trying to keep the romance going in your marriage. It was the simple things, little gifts, remembering anniversaries. We still, all of us, like to be loved, want to be affirmed.
The purest expression of love is to cook for someone, whether it's your mother or your lover or your child or a friend. You cannot cook indifferently, otherwise the food won't come through the right way. I mean, there is a great deal of love which goes into the making of food. I would advise people to sit down with the family, with the children around the table every day. It's an absolutely necessary thing to do to be happy in life, you know.
The secret of a long marriage, I say, is luck. It's luck. I no more than that. And you work hard at it, and it does help if you have a partner who loves you. And my wife's much brighter than I am, and things. And she saw me doing silly things, and then she'd just stand back and say, well, he'll come back eventually. If you hang on long enough, it'll all get back to where it was.
I'm married to a very strong woman, intelligent. She's been a great backer of my work. I remember when we first were married, I got word that the Saturday Evening Post was interested in getting me to do something for them. So I did this painting, just purely out of my imagination, looking down through a buttonwood tree. Phone rang. It was editor-in-chief. He said, we all love your painting and we want to commission you to do 10 covers a year for the Saturday Evening Post. And Betsy looked at me and she said, if you accept that, I'm leaving for good. You'll never be a painter. That was it. I turned it down.
You can't face a situation and go, oh, page 43, da-da-da-da-da, oh, that's what I do. There is no booklet when it comes to kids. You can only raise kids as openly and as honestly as possible.
When I was a parent, I was very, very busy with all those book covers. So in that time, I was a very bad father, I think.
I just saw my children in the evening just before they went to bed, because I was just working hard every day, day after. And nowadays, now I am a grandparent, I take more time for them.
Being a parent is one of the most difficult and demanding and rewarding things that you can possibly be. But you really are responsible for the day-to-day upbringing of your child, and you have to do some sanctions, and you have to try to figure out when to reward. With the grandkids, you can just reward.
I take my granddaughters now, I've got 5 of them, I take them to good restaurants. I say, this is a good restaurant. Now, if you have a boyfriend, he doesn't bring you here, don't go out with him. You tell it, you've got to go to the Ivy. Tell him you want to tea at the Ritz. I mean, don't look around. I mean, but grandparents can do that, you see. You can affect their life. You can make them dream.
There's little Teddy, medium Teddy, and I'm big Teddy. And little Teddy loves Fenway Franks, the Frankfurters that they sell at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. And when we went last summer, I saw him eating at Fenway Franks, and he had the ketchup and the mustard and the relish on his nice clean shirt to show it. And I said, how many Fenway Franks have you eaten, Teddy? And he said, 2, Grandpa, just 2. And then he went down like this.
People say, have you got a favourite? And I truly haven't. I just am very fond of them all. It's a really much easier one than mother-child relationship, because you're not responsible for an awful lot of things. You can just enjoy it, and you can have it for a day, your grandchild, and then you can give it back at the end of the day, and you can go and pour yourself a drink, which is lovely.
I'm very, very fond of my grandchildren, and I think they're tolerably fond of me. Of course, they've got their own lives to live, but their lives include quite a large slice of Grandpa. I mean, grandparents are not like parents.
As you get older, you have less energy. Coping with children might be difficult. Coping with grandchildren who you see frequently, but not all the time, you can manage that all right. And I'm lucky, I have 10 grandchildren, and all of them have grown up near to me in Dublin.
Most people seem to think that being a grandparent is the better experience, because I think you have more of just the pure pleasure and less of the responsibility. With me, I guess I haven't had that much of the responsibility with either one, but I have nothing but the love and affection of them. My experience with my 8 children is very little different from that with my 6 grandchildren. The best part of it all is that they all love each other. I think that I could just step out of the picture and they'd be fine.
When you have a little child and it's there, do you look at that child and say it has to become something? It's already something. It's already what it is. But the miracle is life itself. It's not in heaven. It's not in this. It's right now.
It's the most wonderful thing to be a grandmother. You sort of know why you're around. Because grandmothers have a special biological place in nature.
Love something. I think we've got to learn to love something deeply. I think it's love. It sounds sentimental as hell, but I really think it is.
Life is not perfect. It never will be. You just have to make the very best of it. And you have to open your heart to what the world can show you. And sometimes it's terrifying, and sometimes it's incredibly beautiful. And I'll take both. Thanks.